Dear viewers, welcome to the final part of how a Texas nurse fulfilled a patient's last wish. In this episode, secrets will be revealed, justice will be tested, and lives will change forever. If you missed part 1, check the description and pinned comment to watch it first. For everyone who has been following, the truth is finally here. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. When you finish watching, comment more videos and tell us where you're watching from. By the time I reached Adrian's house, the sky was just starting to lighten. The street was quiet, the kind of silence that feels like it's watching you. His mansion stood tall and dark, the front gate locked. I used the silver key to slip in, my heart beat loud in the still air. Inside, the house smelled faintly of his cologne, and for a moment, it felt like he was right there with me. I went straight to the study, just like he said. The painting of the lighthouse hung above the fireplace, exactly as he described. My hands shook as I lifted it off the wall, revealing a small safe hidden in the wall. I keyed in the code, 0917, and the lock clicked open. Inside was a flash drive, a stack of photographs, several folded documents, and a small black notebook with his handwriting on the cover. I grabbed everything and sat down at his desk, my hands flipping through the photos first. My stomach twisted. They showed patients in different hospitals, their bodies marked with rashes, bruises, and strange swelling. Some looked barely alive. In several photos, I recognized the same male doctor I'd seen in Adrian's room. I opened the notebook. Adrian had written down dates, names, and payments, huge sums of money being transferred to doctors, hospital directors, and even government officials. Each payment was linked to the trial drug he had told me about. Finally, I plugged the flash drive into his computer. A video file opened, and my heart skipped. It was a recording of that meeting he had mentioned. Clear audio of two men talking about using patients as test subjects without their consent, then covering up the deaths. One of the voices was the man in the suit from the hospital. I was so focused that I didn't hear the sound of a car pulling up outside, but the noise of the front door unlocking made my blood run cold. I quickly stuffed everything into my bag, turned off the computer, and froze. Footsteps entered the study. "Maya," a deep voice said, "calm but dangerous. You shouldn't be here." It was the man in the suit, and he wasn't alone. I didn't turn around. My fingers were tight around the bag, feeling the edges of the flash drive and notebook inside. The man in the suit stepped into the study, the male doctor right behind him. "Put the bag down, Maya," he said smoothly, like he was offering me a choice I didn't really have. I forced my voice to sound steady. "You have no right to be here." He smirked. "Neither do you, but you've already seen too much, so let's not make this messy." The doctor moved toward me. I took a step back, my mind racing. The only way out was past them, unless... My eyes flicked to the side window. It wasn't far from the ground outside. My heart pounded. If I timed it right... "Last chance?" the man said. I pretended to loosen my grip on the bag, then suddenly swung it hard, hitting the doctor's arm. He cursed, stumbling back. In that split second, I grabbed the edge of the desk, vaulted toward the window, and shoved it open. The cold morning air hit my face as I jumped out, landing in the wet grass. My ankle screamed in pain, but I didn't stop. I ran toward the back fence, the sound of footsteps chasing me. "Maya!" the man's voice barked behind me. I reached the fence, tossed the bag over, and scrambled up. My hands burned as I hauled myself over to the other side. I landed hard, gasping, but I was out. A taxi was passing down the quiet street. I ran into the road, waving frantically. The driver slammed the brakes. "Hospital," I said, breathless, sliding into the seat. As we pulled away, I looked back through the window. The man in the suit stood at the fence watching me, his expression cold and certain. But he didn't have the evidence. I did. And Adrian was still alive, at least for now. The taxi screeched to a stop in front of the hospital. I clutched the bag tight against me as I rushed inside, ignoring the ache in my ankle. I went straight to Adrian's room, but when I pushed the door open, the bed was empty. The sheets were gone, the machines were missing, and the smell of antiseptic was fresh, like someone had cleaned the room minutes ago. A cold wave ran through me. I turned to the nearest nurse at the desk. "Where's the patient in room 6, Adrian Cole?" She glanced at the computer screen, then looked back at me with a flat expression. "He was transferred this morning." "Transferred where?" "I'm sorry, that's all the information I have," she said clippedly, like someone had told her not to say more. I gripped the counter. "No, listen to me. You have to tell me." "Maya." The voice came from behind me. I turned slowly and froze. It was the male doctor. He was smiling faintly, but his eyes were sharp. "You missed him," he said quietly. "He's being moved to a private facility where he can get special care." My stomach twisted. "You mean where you can finish killing him?" His smile didn't change. "You have quite the imagination, but you should know, walking into places where you don't belong can be dangerous." I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only he could hear. "And you should know I have everything. Photos, documents, the recording. If anything happens to him, the whole world will know what you've done." For the first time, his smile faltered. "Then I suggest you be very careful, Maya, because you're not untouchable." I didn't respond. I turned and walked away, my legs shaking. I knew 2 things. Adrian was in more danger than ever, and now so was I. I pulled out my phone and texted one word to Omar, the only person I could trust. "Help."
Omar didn't waste time. 10 minutes after my message, his old car pulled up in the side parking lot. I climbed in with the bag of evidence still clutched to my chest. "What happened?" he asked, pulling out fast. "They moved him. They said it's a private facility. We both know what that means. If they keep him there, he won't make it." Omar's jaw tightened. "Then we find it." We drove to his cousin's small IT shop. Omar explained just enough to get him to help without asking questions. Within 20 minutes, the cousin hacked into the hospital's transfer logs. Only one patient had been moved that morning, Adrian Cole, sent to a facility outside the city called Gray Ridge Wellness Center. Omar whistled. "That's not a wellness center. That's a rich man's prison." We mapped the location. It was heavily gated, surrounded by high walls. Omar looked at me seriously. "If we're going in, we can't walk through the front door. But I used to deliver oxygen tanks there. I know a side service gate that staff use." "What about security?" I asked. "They check IDs, but I've still got my old delivery uniform in the trunk. You can go in with me as my assistant." I nodded. "Once we get inside, I'll find Adrian. You just keep anyone from noticing us until we're out." Omar smirked. "Sounds easy, which means it's going to be a nightmare." We drove through the night toward Gray Ridge. The lights of the facility glowed in the distance like a trap waiting to close. My heart pounded harder with every mile. I had the key to saving Adrian in my pocket, and if I failed tonight, I might lose him forever. We reached Gray Ridge just after midnight. Omar parked near the side gate and handed me a spare delivery jacket. My hands were trembling as we walked toward the security checkpoint. The guard glanced at Omar, then at me. "New assistant?" "Yeah," Omar said smoothly. "We're late for the oxygen delivery. Boss will kill us if we don't get inside." The guard grunted, barely checking the clipboard, and waved us through. My heart was pounding, but I kept my head down. Inside, the hallways were quiet and cold. Omar whispered, "He'll be in the restricted wing. Last door on the left. You've got 5 minutes before someone notices." I moved quickly, my footsteps echoing. When I reached the last door, I pushed it open and froze. Adrian was there. Pale and weak, strapped to the bed with monitors all around him. His eyes fluttered open when he saw me. "Maya, you came." I ran to his side and started unbuckling the straps. "We don't have time. Can you walk?" "With you?" "Yes," he whispered. We moved fast, Omar meeting us halfway with a wheelchair he had grabbed. He pushed Adrian toward the service gate, but halfway there, a shout rang out behind us. 2 guards started running towards us. "Go!" Omar yelled, pushing the chair harder. We burst through the gate and into the van, slamming the doors shut as the guards shouted outside. Omar floored it, the tires screeching as we tore down the road. By dawn, we were at Omar's cousin's place. I opened the bag and pulled out the flash drive, documents, and photos. Adrian watched me with tired but determined eyes. "It's time," I said. We sent everything to multiple journalists and uploaded the files to the internet. By afternoon, the story was everywhere. Headlines naming the company, the doctors, and the facility. The world saw the truth, and there was no stopping it. A week later, Adrian was in a safe hospital with guards who actually protected him. I sat beside his bed, holding his hand. "You saved my life, and our babies." I smiled through my tears. No, we saved each other. Outside the window, the sunrise painted the sky gold, and for the first time in weeks, I believed we were finally free. Some people enter your life for a moment, others change it forever. Adrian came into my life as just a patient, but he became my fight, my love, and my family. We faced danger, betrayal, and fear, but we also found courage, truth, and hope. And now, with our baby on the way and the truth set free, I know we were meant to meet that night in the hospital. Because sometimes, God doesn't just send you to save someone, He sends you to save each other. And no matter how dark the situation seems, truth will always find a way to shine. Kindness can start with small actions, staying beside someone when everyone else walks away, but it can grow into the courage to risk everything for them. Love is not just about feelings, it's about sacrifice, protection, and fighting for each other even when the world is against you. And sometimes, the people you save will end up saving you right back. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications for next story. Thanks for watching.